Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Sorry for the lengthy wait for this next album review. I just got really busy with just other things I was doing, talking to some friends, and basically just wanted to come at you now because I had to re-listen to this record for 1OK Rock DETOX. 1OK Rock DETOX, the new 1OK Rock record. Give me a second, I gotta pause the video. Sorry about that. This cat was being weird. So, pretty much, yeah. I'm going to discuss what I listened to for the 11 songs from this DETOX album. I'm sorry if I paused the video for a second. I just had to see what this cat was doing. One of my cats or whatever. So, pretty much, yeah. I'll let you know my thoughts on the record overall. So, let's dive into this album review. Now, I know it wasn't really something I not wanted to review. I didn't want to pause the video. There was something going on for a second. But Nasty is the first track on the record. More sexualized track, but it is a good song for how it sounds. I think it has a good melody, production, and mixing is pretty strong. And just execution wise, I think. Sorry, I'm just wondering what one of my cats is doing. So, pretty much, Taka's vocals are pretty strong in this, and just the mixing and all that is the best aspect about this track. So I do dig this song. It's a 5 out of 5 for sure. Dystopia was a song I wasn't sure if I was going to come back and get used to, but I do like it. It's a good song. Pretty strong track. I think Taka's vocals sound really good. I mean, there's some cringe to it a little with the second verse with some of the lyrics, but it's not bad. It's still a strong track in its own way, so I'd give it a 5 out of 5 as well. Then Tropical Therapy is a pretty good track too, so I'd give this a 5 out of 5 as well. I do dig how Taka is singing this track overall, and just execution wise. This was one of my favorite songs off the record, and just the mixing was pretty strong, so really dig that about the track. Then we get to Delusional, which is a strong track for how it sounds. I think execution wise, it is a little bit of a political track about calling out the hate towards some of the certain people in the political side. It's not a terrible track. It's very politicized and modernized to the what's going on in the world and how our country is kind of our world is becoming, like the song says, delusional. But it's kind of a very ostracized, politicized song. But it's not a terrible track. It's pretty good. But I have some critiques with some of the track and the message behind it. But overall, it's still a 5 out of 5. It's still an enjoyable track. Taka's vocals work in this song, and execution-wise, did pretty well. Track number 5, Party's Over, is a good song. It's one of the least favorites, but it's not one of the worst tracks. But I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5. And to keep in mind, Delusional was the first single, Dystopia was the second, and then Matter was the third, and Puppets Can't Control You was the final single. And at least they only dropped 4 singles for this record. They didn't spoil any more of the record, which is a good thing. But other than that, Party's Over, yeah, 4.5 out of 5. Not one of my favorites, but not the worst track. Puppets Can't Control You was the final single to announce, well, not still to announce the record's release, DETOX, for February 21st, which is tonight after all. But overall, it's still a strong track. I really enjoyed the mixing in this, and just the way Taka's singing it did pretty well. His vocal range was pretty strong in this track. So I really enjoyed this One OK Rock track. Definitely has some great mixing in it, and overall it's a strong track. 5 out of 5. Tiny Pieces is a 4.75 out of 5. It's good song, pretty good song, but I have a few critiques with the melody and just how the song is playing out overall. It's not a terrible song. It's about heartbreak and a breakup and how the girl left him and all that. So, yeah, it's kind of an emotional track, but it's not terrible in any way. So, 4.75 out of 5. This Can't Be Us is the 8th song on the record. Strong track after all. Really enjoyed this one. Nice piano work in this song. Very mellow ballad kind of track. And I really dug the message behind this song. So, really like how melodic it sounds and how nice it sounds. So, Taka's vocals shine in this track. 5 out of 5. Then we get to Plus Matter. I guess it's called Plus Matter. It has a plus at the beginning of the title. So, other than that, Matter is a strong track. I really enjoyed this track. It definitely is one of the best songs and one of the best singles they dropped back in December of 2024. And that was really highly anticipated to see how the rest of the record would sound. And overall, I do have a personal favorite track on this record, which you're going to find out in a second. But other than that, 5 out of 5 for Matter. It's still a personal favorite track, still to this day. I really love this track. But not as much as the next song. So 5 out of 5. Curiosity featuring Pale Dusk and Chico. Strong track. One of my favorites. I love how great the featured artists, both of them, sound. I mean, there's a little bit of cringe with some of it, with Chico screaming and then rapping, or kind of singing, rapping in a way. It's still pretty good of a track. It's very well mixed, and this was a very strong track. I really enjoyed this one. So this was one of the best One OK Rock songs as the second to last track going into the closing track. In just a second, I'll be talking about it. But other than that, 5 out of 5 for Curiosity. I even enjoyed Pale Dusk's rap verse when he came in the second verse of the track. So it was one of the best tracks and a personal favorite of mine. The Pilot /3, I believe is called. I think this was a pretty good track to close out this record. I think Taka's vocals sound really strong in this, and it's a great closing track to end this album, and I personally like it. I wish Make It Out Alive was on this record, but this seems suitable enough to close out the record. It seems like the proper track to close this record, so I'd give it a 5 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution-wise, I think One OK Rock's DETOX record was a really good record. Definitely was a highly anticipated album that I was excited to listen to for this February release. And I'm glad I listened to it because I had a good time listening to it. And for 38 minutes, you're not in for much of a record, but it's still a strong record for how it sounds. So they didn't spoil any more songs, and I'm grateful that they didn't. But there wasn't really a lot of songs left for us to be hyped about. Just overall, I think the record pulled it off for what they were going for. And if I were to give One OK Rock's Detox album a score, I'm feeling a strong 9 out of 10. Really good record. Highly recommend you guys check this album out if you have not listened to One OK Rock's new album, Detox. So it's a really strong record and one of my personal favorite records of this year. So 9 out of 10 for One OK Rock Detox. I wish it could have gotten a better rating, but Party's Over was a song that didn't really intrigue me. And Tiny Pieces is a pretty good song, but plays it safe in a way. But everything else is pretty strong. So, yeah, 9 out of 10 for One OK Rock Detox for this new album. Thank you guys for watching this album review tonight.